y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michali of Michali's Studio. You are in the studio with me today, and I want to show you how to use the Copic color swatch cards to make my life easier. And if you're looking for a way to make your life easier when it comes to preparing for rendering, choosing your color palette, these can be really helpful, and I'll show you exactly how you can kind of see the layers of the colors. So typically my process before I start rendering my paper dolls is that I will use my Copic marker paper and test out the different colors that I want to use for that group of paper dolls or individual paper doll, custom paper doll, whatever it is I'm doing. And I note them for myself, and I kind of like to see the layout. Does it work? This is one sheet of many from a recent group of dolls that I created. But what is great about the Copic swatch cards is that you have them ready to go, and you can have all your markers as you have them. So I decided, okay, let's invest in this so I can have a quick way to look at the colors if I don't want to be swatching, even though this is still a very important part for me when I'm establishing my color palette, because I test things out and I want to be able to kind of see it. This is just another helpful tool. So I'm going to test it out, let you know how I like it, show you how to use it. And then if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. So what's great here is Copic is really showing us how you can get a gradation. And so if you do 1 stroke, 2 strokes, and 3 strokes, it really shows you how you can build up your Copic sketch markers, which is really helpful, again, when you're establishing your color palette. If it's for your fashion designs, fashion illustrations, or whatever other kind of illustration you might do, being able to see it so you can plan ahead for what you're going to render is super helpful. And again, they give us all the details, so let's check it out. Right away, I already love the little sort of envelope, sachet, or whatever we want to call it, that it comes with, so it keeps them nice and protected, and I can store them in this. I love that already. The paper is premium bond paper, acid-free, so it won't fade on us, and as you can see, they have it by the color groups, for instance, BV, which is blue, violet, violet, and so on and so forth. So let's try some colors. Now, before I dive in, I will let you guys know I don't have all the Copic markers. I am building my Copic collection, so there will be spots that will be empty, of course, for myself, but it is also what makes this a further helpful tool is you can kind of see where you are in your collection if you're like me, gradually building it. So the first color I'm picking is BV 000 Iridescent Mauve. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Copic sketch markers, we have 2 tips. We've got the brush tip and we have the wider tip, which is really great for more kind of, I don't want to say structured lines, but it's got these sort of sharper edges, and I'll show you in a moment when I open it. I typically work on the sketch side, on the brush side. It's very blendable and it works really well for my paper dolls. But for the purpose of the Copic swatch cards, we're going to use the wider tip. So as you can see the difference, this is a very firm brush tip. See the edges there versus this tip, which is more like a brush. That's why we call it the brush tip, and it kind of points to an end. So both are amazing. I find I use this side way more on my paper dolls. So getting it nice and close, I'm just going to do 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes. And you can see right there, I can see my gradation, I can see the progression of color and the buildability. And so if I want just a light tone, I know it's just 1 stroke, a little fuller or a little darker, and then get the tone to its maximum. And of course, you can keep building on it, again, depending on what it is you're illustrating and rendering. All right, looking ahead at some of the other colors. I skipped this one. I don't have Pale Thistle, though it is definitely on my wish list. Let's go to the next one that I do have, which is BV04 Blueberry. So again, 1 stroke, skip over to the next box, 2, skip to the last, 3. Blueberry, such a beautiful tone. Look how dark and rich it gets, but how versatile it is for us at the lighter end of it. Next one in the example I will show you today is BV08 Blue Violet. This is such a rich, beautiful tone. Let's swatch it. So again, 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that color. I love this one. This is just, it's one of my faves. It is such a beautiful, I mean, this is blue violet, right? This is, if we think of the color wheel, this is that deep, rich, what sometimes people will mistake and refer to as purple, but blue violet, you could see how it's got more of those blue tones, whereas purple has more red in it. Skipping over here, the last two that I have of the BV line are BV00 Mauve Shadow and BV11 Soft Violet. I just love the names too, especially in the BV, in the blue violet category. Color names are just so relaxing, but as the colors are as well. So we'll start off with BV00 Mauve Shadow, and again, 1, 2, 3. Oh, again, such a beautiful tone. The mauves really are just incredible. I mean, you can tell I love Copic markers, and these are just colors that I'm very fond of. Now, don't worry if they're not perfectly filled like this one. It's okay. You're getting a sense of what the tone looks like, and that's what's important. I mean, if you want to go in and fill it and be much more precise than I am, obviously go ahead and do that. I'm just going through the colors, and for me it doesn't have, this is not where it has to be perfect. So let's do one more. BV11 Soft Violet, again another beautiful tone. I'm going to press down 1, 2, 3. How satisfying is that sound too of the marker on this beautiful paper. So this is BV11 Soft Violet. Right away, for me, what's super helpful, especially when I'm first just thinking about it, I'm not even swatching on my marker paper to get a sense. I want to just peek the colors. And sometimes the caps can be helpful, and sometimes they're less helpful in terms of the actual color on the paper. And these three in particular, which all work together, so especially if you're looking for shadows for these ones, BV11 is great, but you can see how you could use BV00 as a shadow for BV00 Iridescent Mauve because of the tone. So if you're trying to create a gradient in a fashion look or your illustration, whatever it is, these are really helpful to have as a group. But right away, just having that layout, I can just look at it and have a sense of what the colors look like and how they behave when I build them up. Okay, so you know what I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. That blank space was bothering me, so I had to fill it in. This is less, that was bothering me. So it will dry and be the same, but I don't want to build any more because then that will be 2 strokes, and this is 1 stroke. Now, I don't know about you all, but if you're finding this as satisfying as I'm finding this, if it's the sounds and just filling this in, I'm going to share some more of the violets on this page that I have. So if you're enjoying this past the point of just testing it out, stick around. Let's do some more. It's just too much fun. Before we go into the violets, I will let you guys know that I don't have any more of the BVs. I want them all, but I'm working slowly. So let's dive into some of the violets. So the first violet color I have is Rose Quartz, which is kind of more of a pinky tone, but again, a fave. Now this one's very light, so we go 1, 2, 3. A little harder to see this one, but it builds up beautifully. It's very delicate. I really love this color. The next violet color that I have is V05 Azalea, which personally I love azaleas and I love this color. It is so beautiful as well. 1, 2, 3. Look at that, just gorgeous. Next up is V06 Lavender, which is funny because when I think of lavender, I think of a much lighter tone, but this is also another great one, and it works so well with V05. These two are sisters, and they're great when you're creating layers and shadows in your fashion illustrations, and in my case, in my paper dolls. Starting to really fill in the squares. I don't want to do too much, but again, did you see I missed that? So I've got to go in and do this. It's going to bug me. The next one I have in my collection is V12, which is Pale Lilac, and also a beautiful tone that works well with this bunch. Such a beautiful color. I know I keep saying that, but as you know, if you've been following me for a while, following my videos, I do love Copic markers very, very much. The next one that I have is V22 Ash Lavender, and I also have V25 Pale Blackberry. These two, again, sisters. So if you're looking to create shadows and buildability with these two, they work really, really well. And they are just such rich, beautiful violets. V22, along with the BVs up here, also work well together when you're trying to create that depth. Pale Blackberry, what a fun name. So again, 1, 2, 3. Ah, such a beautiful color. The last 3 for my violet colors are V93 Early Grape, V95 Light Grape, and V99 Aubergine, which is so dark and so great for, again, a much more moody, you know, if you're doing a winter collection and stuff like that. We'll get to that at the end. So I recently purchased V93 here, Early Grape, and V95 Light Grape together for a paper doll look that I did that was based off a runway look. And I did not have I could not create the colors with the violets that I had for the garment. And so I picked these two up, and they've been such a great addition to my collection. Again, these are what I would call sister markers because they work so well together to create shadows. So see how this gets like the darkest, but you can see how close they are on their spectrum, so they work really well together. And last but not least, V99 Aubergine. Look at how dark this color is. Oh, it's so rich, so beautiful, and looks really well. Pairs with these, with V95 and V93. All right, so there you have it for the first card with blue, violet, and violet. These are all the colors that I have. I want all of them, but I don't have them yet. The great thing is I can see them now. It's a nice layout for me. I'm getting better at my application of smoothness. That's going to take a minute because I'm also not used to using that side of the brush. Another helpful tool for you all to check out is Copic has an app. And in that app, you can track which markers you have, which markers you want to have, wish list, and you also have swatch samples in there. So if you're not ready to get the swatch cards, but you want to see what they look like, I recommend checking out the app. I have it on my phone. I am always updating which markers I have, and if I'm coming to create a wish list based on a collection that I'm going to start working on, I will take a look and add them in there and take a look at the swatches there as well. So another super helpful tool that Copic has for your illustration needs. That is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me in this video as we tested out the Copic Swatch Cards, did a bunch of swatches, talked about color combinations. If this was helpful to you and you enjoyed this video, be sure to comment, like, subscribe. You know the drill. I will continue filling these out, and if you want to see more of me swatching the markers that I do have, let me know in the comments. I would love to do that together with you. Until next time, thanks so much for joining me. Y'all, this is a hoot. So as I've been going through and swatching all these colors, I realized I forgot BV29 Slate, which is actually a color I've been obsessed with lately and have used in a lot of PaperDolls recently. So let's swatch it. This color has been hanging out with all my blues, so I totally missed it. I love this color. It is so rich and beautiful, and you can really see the purple undertones, but the rich blueness, like as opposed to blue violet. It's just such a great color.